Do I hit this? It's already connected.
It's already,
So I'm good.
when you're ready to go live, just press live.
Press here. Okay. All right, we'll do.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Hello. Good.
This is the John Meccico Show on Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Now, here is John Meccico.
Welcome, everyone. You are listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, the John Meccico Show, and this is John Meccico, and we are live, and we are on Facebook Live as well. So, okay, good stuff. All right, a lot to talk about today. The news is all concentrated on one thing. Trump has done it again, dominated the news cycle, and I think I have an interesting take on it. I hope you guys think so. But I've got to open the show by just recapping the president's rally in Greenville, North Carolina last night. All right, first off, it's held in East Carolina University's William Arena. The venue holds 8,000 people, and they filled every single seat, standing room only. Hundreds, if not thousands, were actually unable to go into the arena because it was so packed. Now, I did not know how many people they held. I didn't know how many seats this place held. I swear I thought it was 20,000. The noise was just unbelievable. These people were just, they were just on it, man. It was raucous, it was packed, and it got a little wild, just as you would expect. And Trump just does it, man. I mean, he does it like nobody else when it comes to this kind of thing. I mean, honestly, it's just unbelievable. Got a little wild, as I said, and then all the chants of USA, USA, USA just filled the arena. And I got to thinking, I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on this, that Joe Biden, during one of his rallies, they had it at a venue, I can't remember where this is, and they actually had to downsize the venue because there were going to be just too many empty seats, and they had to get a smaller venue so that it just wouldn't look like there were empty seats. It would have been quite embarrassing. You never have to worry about that on a Trump rally. Never. And I believe he's having another one on Thursday, Thursday, August 1st. And it's going to be the same stuff. I mean, wherever he goes, he just brings them in. It was awesome. He just electrifies the crowd. He has this it factor to his base. Now, there's some people that I hate the guy. He doesn't have no it factor. But to his base, to people who think like he does, they just react to him in a different way. He definitely has an it factor about him. And I have some theories on that as to why that is. And I think one of the reasons is because he's very true to himself. What you see, it's what you get, right? He's unapologetic. He's not sorry about anything that he does. He is who he is. And it's either going to be, you're going to accept it or you're not. But he's not changing for you. You know, he talks like people talk. I know he's this rich billionaire. I know that everybody's just, he can't be one of us. He's looking at, just, 9-digit type numbers. No, he talks like we talk. He says the things that we wish we could say and we can't. It's refreshing. It's transparent. It's what people wanted. You know, Obama came out there with, this is just going to be the most transparent, our administration is just going to be so transparent and you're going to... No, it was just the opposite. This guy comes along and he's just extremely transparent. And they love him for it. They absolutely do. He's unabashed in his patriotism. They love that about him. I mean, I've been around a little while, and I really can't recall, since Trump, I don't recall any president that gives me that feeling of patriotism like this guy does. But he does. And I'm thankful for that. It's nice to see. I also got to say this, the television, his history of television, be it The Apprentice, and it was a #1 show for many years, even the WWE, all those different type of TV shows that he was on, I think it taught him. I think it taught him a lot about marketing. I think it taught him a lot about how to market himself. Honestly, he does it better than anyone else. During the show, he right away he thanks the Republicans and the Dems and the Dems. He thanks the Democrats who voted against the resolution on impeachment, and he was very sincere about that. What was the vote? 335 to 92, and he was very, he said it was the most ridiculous thing that he's had to go through, that he was involved with. It was pretty ridiculous. I don't care. The Dems, they did the right thing here, except for 92 of them, but. Yeah, that's done with. And then the chance for 4 more years that filled the building. And he's in his element. When that scenario pops up, he is in his element. What I love about watching his rallies is when he goes off script, all right, when he stops reading the prompter and he's just freestyling it, there's nobody better. I mean, it just flows out of his mouth. Whatever he's got in his head, it's coming out. And again, I think that's part of the secret of the success is that he's off prompter, he's just speaking from the heart. It's not scripted. And because he's speaking from the heart, people can relate to it. It's the reason that he's able to speak like they speak. He's speaking from the heart. And his speaking from the heart is very common sense. Look, he's an intelligent man. Nobody can deny that. No matter what you think of him, you cannot deny that he's intelligent. But he doesn't try to talk above anybody. He tries to make it as transparent as he can. It's a beautiful thing to watch. I mean, it really is. And when he's off script, it's just fantastic. Then he decided to have some fun. You guys ever go to a carnival or you go to an amusement park and there's this game and it's called whack-a-mole and you got this hammer and the idea is that you whack the mole as it pops up and try to do it before it goes down. And man, hammer in hand, he was whacking everybody yesterday. I mean, it was intentional. It was intentional, and it was almost though like he saved it for this event. He spared nobody. And what he said was, it's live TV. They can't edit me. And it was perfect for him. He was going to say it, and you were going to have to listen to it. And again, in his element. AOC, she got whacked. Omar, Ikhlan. I got to get that guttural sound. I don't know how to do that. I got to get that. Anyways, he's laughing because I actually try to practice it and I can't do it. She got whacked. Probably harder than anybody. Tlaib, we got to talk about her a little bit later. Whacked. Presley, whacked. Then he went to the presidential candidates, the Democratic presidential candidates. Biden, oh no, he got whacked. Pocahontas Warren, whacked. Bernie got whacked. Even Trump had a hard time pronouncing it. Whacked. He whacked them all. It was like a scene from The Godfather. He took care of all family business yesterday. That's just what it was. That's just what it was. He took care of all family business yesterday. I thought it was really refreshing to see and to feel. All right, not just see it, but through the television screen, you can feel the patriotism coming through the screen. And that's just what his rallies are. People that believe in the red, white, and blue, they know the history of this country. They understand that there's not nearly the prejudice that the four horsemen here, four horsewomen, I should say, are talking about. I don't even want to call them the squad. I'm not going to use that term because it's not fitting of them. It's too good for them. Yeah, I mean, it's... his rallies are just going to be like this, guys. Stay tuned and keep up because, I mean, he's just going to get more and more. He's just going to whack more and more people as it goes on. All right, listen, when we get back from the break, I want to mention one of the things that I really think he did here. I don't know if he did it on purpose. Guillermo thinks that he did it on purpose. I had breakfast with Guillermo this morning, and we were talking, and I think it was an accident, but Guillermo says, no, he outsmarted him. He did this on purpose, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk. I got a little subject. This girl Presley. I think she messed up on something, and I think it's going to be a great marketing scheme for the Republicans. So, anyways, guys, you're listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Our phone numbers are 559-442-1680. And looking forward to the next few segments. Please stay tuned. See you in a bit. Facebook, how are you guys? All right, Elaine from Jersey, great. Love seeing you here again. Thank you, Leanna. It was a great rally. Yes, it was. Pablo, all that sums it up. MAGA 2020. Yep, I'm with you. Teresa, he's blunt with truth. He absolutely is. He is as blunt as it gets. Hang on one second, guys. All right, guys. Thank you for that. Gene, 92 will be voted out. I hope so. Sass Levine. I can't take a deep breath to see I'm not alone with my position. Here in New York City area, too many Dems. Sass, I'm a New Yorker myself. Grew up a lot of my life in Yonkers and before I moved to Jersey. And, I was too young at that time to really understand the whole political scene. But we're going to talk a little bit about Queens in the Bronx and the challenge that AOC may have in front of her. So we will get to that in a little bit. Who else we got here? Nathan, LOL, Molly, thank you. Belinda, hello, Belinda. Playing them like puppets. That's what Guillermo says, and I think he is now, but I don't think that was the initial intent. But Belinda, you might be right. Elaine, I loved it. You're my 19. All right. I will get back to you guys in a little bit. Leanna from California. Where in California, Leanna? Let us know. All right. Talk to you guys in a bit.
back to the John Meccico Show on the Valley's new talk leader, Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
All right, guys, welcome back to WWE, I almost said, because we're going to talk about the WWE shortly here. All right, so we're talking about the Trump rally and just how awesome it was, just the patriotism that came through, and that Trump was just playing whack-a-mole. He was just whacking all of them. He was just doing his best godfather and taking care of all family business yesterday. And really, I just enjoyed it. All right, so I mentioned the WWE. I think maybe when Donald Trump was, he was a part of WWE for a short period of time, but I think maybe back then it was called the WWF, I think, right? All right. Now, I think that Trump, that he took something away from that experience, and he learned something very important from a guy named Vince McMahon. Now, for you guys who don't watch wrestling, I'm sure there's many of you that don't, but there's probably some of you that have seen it in the past. Vince McMahon is the creator, maybe his father actually was, but he took it over and took it to a whole new height of this whole Worldwide Wrestling Federation, and then became the WWE because of I think it was the Wildlife Foundation had claims to the letters WWF. Anyway, blah 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 blah. So Vince McMahon used to have Donald Trump on the show, and they created themselves a little rivalry where, McMahon, it was like McMahon always strutted around like he was the millionaire, but here was Trump who had more money than him, and it was a way of just building an enemy, a fake enemy, so to speak, and Trump played the part perfectly. Now, why do I bring this up? I think there's a little WWE kind of going on here. Now, let me explain this to you a little bit. When you are as popular as Trump and you need people to rally for you, there just has to be a bad guy. There has to be a rival. In sports, we see it all the time. Ali Frazier. In basketball, Chamberlain, Russell, going old school on some of you guys here. Baseball, two classic rivals, Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers and Giants. I mean, there has to be that rival. Basketball, again, Bird and Magic, probably one of the more famous ones. And the list can go on. There was a boxer named Larry Holmes back in the 80s. Late 70s and early 80s, I believe it was. He was a great fighter. He had no rival. There was nobody to hate against him. There was nobody that was rooting for the other side. There were no personality clashes. There was nothing like that. Larry Holmes was a great fighter. Nobody really remembers him today, unless you're an enthusiastic boxing fan. Great fighter, no rival, not much name recognition. And that's just the way it is. And I think Trump, he saw these four women and he found the bad guy. In this case, bad girls. But he found his rival. He found his enemy. He found something that the people could rally around and say, that's the bad guy, I'm the good guy, and that's who we dislike. And I think that he learned that from the WWE, because when he probably saw those crowds and how they acted, I mean, call me crazy, but he experienced it, and I think he took something from it, and I think it's that. He found his enemy that the public can hate, at least the conservatives can hate, and that they can rally around. See, it's not just that. He needs the conservative vote. So he needs the conservatives to be fired up about the bad guy and get up and vote. And it's a brilliant strategy. Now, I don't know if he just lucked into this or not, but he's got it. And he's playing it like a violin, man. I mean, he's just playing it. Now, we talked Tuesday, AOC's favorable numbers, 21, 22%. Omar's favorable numbers, 9%. This is kind of easy. It really is. Now, let me tell you the real beauty behind this whole thing. This is the best part of this whole thing. The Democratic candidates for president, they're not even being talked about. He has completely wiped them away from the media. It's hysterical. The news stations, the cable stations, the other radio stations, I'm sure, they're all so infatuated with these four horsewomen instead of the horsemen. They're so infatuated with these four that here they are running, trying to be the Democratic candidate for president, and they can't even get airtime. That's unbelievable. And now think about this. Think about what they're thinking. That these four freshmen are taking up my airtime and I'm trying to run for president. But because they're squabbling, what am I supposed to do? I mean, it's just they got to be shaking their head. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi, look, she's been around for a while, all right? I'm sure she's just shaking her head because she sees long-term what she's trying to do with the party. And these four freshmen, they're just concerned about their popularity. CBS this morning with Gayle King. Does she have a presidential candidate from the Democratic side on? And look, they're very Democratic there. No, she's got these four. She's interviewing these four freshmen. They've got to be losing their minds. They have just got to be just hitting their head on the wall going, what? What are they doing to us? Do they not see the long-term picture? Luckily for conservatives, they don't. And Trump has his bad guys. He's just smiling. He's just smiling away at this. He's just going, this is beautiful. He's probably sitting back with his feet up on a desk, smoking a stogie, and just going, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And of course, he's the Donald. You know he's got a tweet about it. So there was a new Rasmussen poll. And now apparently Rasmussen polls are one of the more accurate polls out there. And he tweets, new poll. The Rasmussen poll, one of the most accurate in predicting the 2016 election, has just announced that Trump numbers have recently gone up by 4 points to 50%. He says, thank you to the vicious young socialist congresswoman. America will never buy your act. MAGA 2020. What do you think the Democratic candidates are thinking right now? They're saying, you're killing us. You four girls are killing us. It's beautiful. Trump also had a 5 percentage point net approval increase to 72% among members of the Republican Party, compared with a similar poll that ran last week. So 5% increase in 1 week, according to the recent Reuters public opinion poll. So, yeah, this is working out very well for the Trumpster. And, I don't know. He's just pulling a Vince McMahon on. He's pulling a WWE on him, and that's what he's doing. Good for him. All right. I wanted to continue on this subject. This Ayanna Pressley, and we've talked about it a little bit this week, but I think there's more to this, and I think that should be talked about. So as we all know by now, if you don't know, let me explain it to you, that Ayanna Pressley had said, reportedly said, and nobody's denied it, all right, that she's not interested in bringing a chair to an old table. She said, this is the time to shake that table. We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need any more black faces that don't want to be a black voice. And I also think, if I remember correctly, the quote went on regarding gays and whoever else, she attacked a few people. Now, Pressley and fellow freshman reps, AOC and Tlaib and Omar, they clashed with Speaker Pelosi. We all know about that. And the four progressives did not vote for a border aid package last month when Pelosi put it forward to the Senate to be approved. So these four, they were not on board with the leader of that party. So there was already a little bit of friction there. All right. Pelosi ended up kind of beating them up a little bit, and Ocasio-Cortez came back at Pelosi for the explicit singling out of newly elected women of color. As I said, I kind of said on Jairus' show, I think that AOC is whiter than I am. So I don't know. But anyway, no, and this is what they don't understand. Pelosi's not calling you out because of you're women of color. She's calling you out because you're acting like the fool. That's what she's calling you out for. But you're just too dim-witted to understand that. Representative Sharice Davis, or David, so I think represents, whoever she represents, but she's Native American, and she says that has taken votes that enable a racist system. So Ocasio-Cortez chief of staff, I can't pronounce the name, also came under attack in a Twitter feed. Okay, there it was. So that Sharice Davids is saying that all this is taken away from, it's enabling a racist system. Okay, I agree with that. Now, this is the point I wanted to make. Ayanna Pressley may be the least known of the four horsewomen, but she is showing how closed-minded and prejudiced and racist these four really are. If you are unwilling to hear black and brown faces that have a different point of view than you, how will you ever grow intellectually? You won't. The difference between a Ray Lewis and a Megan Rapper, the soccer player with the purple hair. Well, the difference between, Ray Lewis, he decides to go to Trump's office. He decides to go there and find out about the man himself. Megan I can't believe I can't remember her name. She says, I want to talk with anybody that agrees with my point of view. In essence, that's what she said. How are you going to learn anything? How are you going to learn what the other side is about? You're not. And that's the problem. Look, any good businessman or businesswoman who aspires to be successful, they do not want a bunch of yes people around them. That person, that business owner, they need a different viewpoint. They need different personalities. That's true diversity. That's diverse thinking. That's what diverse thinking is about diverse ideas. It's not about diverse color. The amount of melanin you have in your skin pigmentation will do nothing for diverse thinking that creates success and unity. But they don't understand that. Why does the left not get this? Thank you, Ayanna Pressley, for showing America your faulty thinking and what road not to travel. That's exactly what you've done. When you make those kind of comments, and I'm going to tell you guys that one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up was because I am hoping, the amount of marketing material that these four alone, let alone Biden and Harris and the rest of them, the amount of marketing material that these four alone are giving the Republican Party to use for the election campaign, it's unbelievable. They're already showing that they are running the show. When they can get more press time than presidential candidates, guys like Biden and guys like Bernie and Pocahontas, they're eating their own. How they let four freshman women do this. How the media, who's so pro-democratic, does not see this. Good job, media. Let me clap for you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Really. By taking the spotlight away from the presidential candidates that are trying to vie for that one position, you take it away by looking and interviewing and talking about these four freshmen who between all four of them don't have a full brain. Honest to God. Great job. And I mean it. From a conservative standpoint, I'm loving it. Couldn't be happier. All right. Hey, guys, listen, we are now on Twitter. If you go into my 1680 Fresno, you will find us on Twitter. Facebook, you guys have usually heard about that, but also we're on YouTube now, Talk Radio 1680 KGED. How about that? We're growing up. I like it. You're listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Our phone numbers are 559-442-1680. And I think Woody's got me listening to Ray Charles. I like it. All right, brother. Guys, we will see you in a few. Hey, Facebook, I'm back. Let me see what we got here. Elaine, Belinda. Hi, John. Hi, Belinda. And Sheila from Louisiana. Hey, Sheila, I heard you talking with Guillermo and Jarish yesterday. Good stuff. I liked it. Stacy's from Hollister, California. Okay. Hello, Stacy. I've been to Hollister once or twice. Elaine, that was a super smackdown. It was hilarious. Good stuff, Elaine. I like it. Hello, Lisa. Elaine, I cringe as soon as I hear the name. Yeah, I know the feeling. I can relate to that. Diane, these 4 women are going to be the downfall of the Democrats. I hope so. I really hope so. And I hope that Trump keeps putting the smackdown on them. As a mother, you have raised such an upstanding member of society with Guillermo. Thank you for raising him right. Hello, Lana. The statement right there is racist. Okay. Or dingbats, yeah. Hello, Christina. They're going to bury the Dems. I hope so. Joan. Hello, Joan. And Deborah. From Alabama. Okay. Hi, Deborah. Hey, guys. Appreciate the feedback. Thank you. All right. See you in a bit.
The Valley's new talk leader, Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Here again is John Meccico.
All right, welcome back to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Woody leaving me with a little jazz there. I like it, buddy. All right. So we were talking about Trump throwing the smackdown, and oh God, who said that? That was so funny. Was it Elaine? Somebody from Facebook. Let me find it real quick. Darn it. I want to say, yeah. Elaine Facebook Live saying that was a super smackdown and it was hilarious. So yeah, good stuff. That I think Trump's pulling a WWE on him, and I kind of like it. So, anyways, hey, we got Steve from Illinois calling, and Steve, welcome to Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
Good evening, John.
Hey, how are you, bud?
Hey, I got a couple quotes here, and I'm gonna being is that Trump's the racist now.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I want to throw a couple quotes at you. See if you can guess who said these quotes.
Okay.
Okay, the first one is, America should welcome the immigrants who could assimilate, but exclude the immigrant who could not readily incorporate himself into our society. Here's the other one. The United States have already felt the evils of incorporating large numbers of foreigners into their national mass by promoting in different classes different predilections in favor of particular foreign nations, apathies against others. It has served very much to divide the community and to distract our councils. It has been often likely to compromise interests of our own country in favor of another. Can you guess on who said those quotes?
I believe it was Joe Biden.
No, sir.
Was it then Barack Obama?
The first quote came from James Madison.
Oh, you went old school on me. Okay, I think I could have sworn that it was going to be Biden. Okay.
The second quote came from Alexander Hamilton.
Okay. Okay.
What the point is I'm getting to is what Trump said is not racist. What Trump said is very much of what this country was created upon.
Yeah.
Because our country wasn't created to be diverse, as we have been told. The reason they wanted to select certain people to come into this country was to preserve our republic.
Steve, in Canada, they do that. If you want to try to go into Canada and be a citizen of Canada, you have to bring something to the table to enhance the Canadians, that country.
Yes.
You don't just, you've got to bring something to the table. We're the only country that does anything like this. The only country.
And that's because the people are not educated on what the true founding of our country was based upon. That is a failure of our educational system.
Steve, I was just going to say that, and they refuse to teach it. That's the part that's so upsetting to me. I was trying to listen to somebody a couple weeks ago that was talking about what the Obama administration was trying to do with education and what the Trump administration is trying to redo and make it better again. But this whole thing about us not understanding our foundation, if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. And if you don't know what you stand for, you're going to fall for anything.
Right. And what happened is our government decided they were going to create the Department of Education, which is not a delegated power in Article 1, Section 8. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
So what they did was now they stacked the deck, because if I'm not mistaken, there's a board of people, I believe it's in Texas, that decide what the text of school books and of what the students learn.
For the nation?
For the nation.
Really?
Well, you've got the department. See, you centralized education by creating the Department of Education.
And it's in Texas, okay.
And they assigned a group of people who sit there and choose what's best for the kids, the students, to learn.
And I wonder who oversees them.
Nobody.
Somebody has to oversee them, because really?
Well, we're supposed to, John. We're supposed to.
The citizens,
we need
or
to learn our job.
You know, Steve, if that's what's going on, something has to be done about that.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I interrupted you, but all I was going to say was, if that's really what's going on, then something must be changed. I've always said that if I ever had a conversation with Donald Trump and he said, hey, what are your concerns? Education, what they're learning.
It has to be. Because just for example, here in Illinois, we had a governor a few years ago Governor Quinn said that he would love to be able to get kids into school at the age of 2.5 years old.
That's called preschool, I think, right?
Well, that's not even preschool.
Yeah, you're right. It's preschool.
That's taking the kids away from the parents.
Yeah. And, and you're absolutely right, because those first 4 or 5 years, I mean, parental guidance is everything. And I can certainly tell the difference when a parent has spent a lot of time with a child early on versus not. I mean, it's clear. It's clear in so many ways. So
see, the mother has the most important role of a family, hands down.
Yeah.
The woman, the mother, has the greatest responsibility, because they were there to nurture and raise that child.
Absolutely.
To give that child security.
Yeah.
To put, from the ages from 2 to 7 years old, the children are most impressionable, and what they learn between 2 and 7 years old, they take on further into their life.
Yeah, there is no more important job in the world than being a mom and being a good mom.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're absolutely. Yeah.
So, we've been listening to all this race stuff and coming from the goon squad, and it's all about racism. But nobody will look at history, because we're repeating history again. We've got unprincipled people put into office that Omar even admitted she don't want to assimilate here.
Yeah. Wasn't there something I think they took it away in 1961. It was called a legalized, there was something where you had to pledge your willingness to be Americanized, to be assimilated. And they took it away in 1961. I forget the name. It began with an L. It was called it'll come to me later. But anyways, there was, I think it was on this radio station I was listening to earlier today, that somebody was saying they need to bring that back, because patriotism is all gone. What will happen is you'll have the ACLU come in here and tell you that's not constitutional. That's violating civil liberties. Well, then somebody needs to fight against ACLU, and I know they got their hands in everything, and I get it. But listen, that's where what you're saying, and you bring up so many important points, Steve. And as I'm talking to you, I remember the last conversation we had, and you brought up some great points then as well. That's where
I'm not bringing up points. I'm learning history.
Right, you bring up great history. That's my point.
I've been studying with 2 constitutional attorneys.
I got you. Okay.
And these constitutional attorneys don't give you half of the information. They give you the lead to learn what the truth is all about, and that's where we're at, right? That's where I'm going, and it's a hard process because I was public educated myself.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be taught how to use our heads. So once we get out of school, the old saying, "Don't let schooling interfere with your education."
And I will say this, and I just finished reading maybe a couple weeks ago a book called The Abolition of Man, which was by C.S. Lewis, and the whole book really had to do with these writers of a book, and what they were doing is they were teaching you what to think instead of how to think. And,
exactly.
And the title was so fitting, The Abolition of Man, the end of man. When you stop learning how to think and you're being told what to think, it's nothing but downhill from there. Steve, great call.
Go ahead.
No, please, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say real quick, I was debating with an attorney who claimed he is a constitutional attorney, and he told me that the Federalist Papers and Anti-Federalist Papers proved that our forefathers didn't understand what the Constitutional actually meant. This guy was so totally wrong on what he's thinking, and he told me, he says, "I went to college and learned this." And I says, "Well, I'm sorry, sir, but you only know what you were taught, and when you're taught a lie, you're only going to teach a lie."
Well said, Steve. Well said.
So,
nice work.
Thank you for getting me on, sir. And
hey,
keep
appreciate
up the good work there.
You're always welcome to call, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great day. Steve from Illinois, bringing the heat, man. That was good stuff right there. That was excellent. Excellent. He's right. Yeah, that would be my biggest concern. I mean, that is my biggest concern, because the next generation, if they're filled with this, I mean, if you think about it, the AOCs and the I'll never get that. Omar and Talib, they're around the same age. All right, Talib and Presley, they can't be that far apart. Were they all learning this in school? Where were they learning this? Where did they get indoctrinated into this idea? If the next generation is not learning the truth and they're being taught what to think instead of how to think, and I truly believe that is the agenda on the Democrat side, they're very patient. They are extremely patient. They're like, we'll wait. We'll wait. And when those kids learn the things that we want them to learn, and they're running the show because they only know to think the way we taught them to think, that's a problem. That's a very big problem. And our country will see its demise the same way that all great empires, Roman Empire, England, or the British Empire, the Ottoman Empire, all the same way, Spanish Empire, that's what happens. They all went down the same way. And the fact that the United States of America knows this kind of history, but instead of not repeating it, they decide to repeat and go down the way those empires went down. What a shame. We only have ourselves to blame. There's a few of us here, and you guys listening, and Facebook Live people and YouTube Live people, we're trying to fight the fight, but our voices need to be heard. Something has to change. And, Trump is the guy. Trump is the guy who's willing to take the shots. He's like the Teflon Don, man. I mean, it just rolls off his back. He doesn't care, but he fights. And I think that's why people love him so much at these rallies. They love a fighter. Americans love a fighter. And we have one. So, thank you, Donald Trump. All right, guys, you are listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Our phone numbers are 559-442-1680. We will see you in a few. Oh, boy. Back on Facebook, guys. The Dems are destroying their own party. Stacey, I hope they are. I hope they are. I hope there's not another four to follow these four. Yeah, and actually my next story is going to be about a challenger, somebody trying to challenge AOC, and my gosh, I hope she wins. I'm over here in California. I'm ready to donate to her campaign. Since the DOE, the Department of Education, came into being in 1980, our standing went from number 2 to, I think, the 17th in the world. correlation? Julie. Yeah. You called it. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a big correlation there. Elaine, you swear by the Bible, not the Quran. I agree. When the rule of the law is ignored, we have no civilized nation anymore. That's what they're pushing for. The question, though, is this, Belinda. Why? Why would they push for it? That makes no sense. I mean, they can't think that that's good. I don't know. Sarah, government takeover schools, what the problem is. Yeah, something's got to change there. Something has got to change or we're all in trouble. Guys, listen, I appreciate the feedback from you guys. You guys are awesome. And, yeah. So, all right. We will talk to you soon.
John Meccico on Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
All right, guys, we are back on the John Meccico Show. You're listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Coming up shortly is Guillermo Moreno. You don't want to miss it. And by the way, for you guys, the 2 o'clock hour, if you can't, you got to listen to Jarris Jackson. He is outright just, he's the best. He's the best 2 o'clock, 2 to 3:45 actually. Best radio you're going to hear anywhere. He's fantastic. So try to tune into that. So I came across this story about the latest Republican to run for AOC seat. And it's a woman named Cherie Murray. She's a Jamaican-born woman who grew up in Queens and founded a TV production and advertising company. And she plans to run for the congressional seat held by Democratic-Republican AOC, according to a report. She says, there is a crisis in Queens. It's called AOC. I like her already. And instead of focusing on us, she's focusing on being famous. By the way, just so you know, AOC has about 4 million followers on Instagram. And she has about 180,000 followers on Twitter. I'm going to get back to that in a second. So she said, mainly rolling back progress and authoring the job-killing Green New Deal and killing the Amazon New York deal. This girl is coming on strong here. She says, your representative in Washington chooses self-promotion over service, conflict over constituents, resistance over assistance, Murray says in the video. So she's got about a minute and 15-second video. Again, Cherie, Scherie, Murray, Muray. And I saw the video, and I really like what I saw. And I don't know enough about her yet, but My first impression was, wow, good stuff. She says, Queens and the Bronx need someone who will create jobs instead of turning them away. Clearly taking a shot at the AOC situation with Amazon, which ended up turning away, I think, tens of thousands of jobs. Asked about AOC's brand of democratic socialism, Murray said, I think it's far, far to the left and it's not connecting with everyday Americans. I agree with that totally. As for Medicare for All, she said, Medicare for All, I think a lot of people are actually pretty happy with their own current health insurance. Murray joins there's 4 other Republicans that are looking to take that seat. And, with the 21% approval rating that AOC has, maybe she should concentrate on her own district instead of concentrating on fighting with Trump. I would highly recommend that. Now, I want to get into this. The 4 million followers on Instagram. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys at some point have said, why are they all bowing down to AOC? Why does she hold so much power? There is power in social media, okay? I'll give you a for instance. I've got 2 nieces that are ballerinas, and very good ballerinas, very good dancers. One of them has a very large following. They both have pretty good followings, but one has a little more than the other. But both of them, companies will they'll send them stuff like Hilltop ice cream. Hey, would you mind just doing an Instagram photo with this? Free clothes, nice clothes. Hey, pick some stuff that you like. If you could put it on Instagram, we'd really appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if my nieces have actually bought clothes in forever because they get it. It's like a modeling thing almost, but it doesn't cost the advertisers anything, right? All it is clothes that they make dirt cheap. Send it to my nieces. My nieces wear them and they keep them. It's cheap marketing for the company. And some people that have large followings, oh, that looks so cute on her, I'll buy it. Why do I bring this up? Because with 4 million followers on Instagram, who do you think wants AOC's approval? Every Democratic candidate. And their thinking is, if AOC sides with me as the Democratic presidential nominee, that's potentially 4 million votes that I have. It's as simple as that. She holds her power because of social media. I don't care if she's dumb as a stump. I don't care how cute she is. That's the power that she has because of social media. Social media is a real thing. And that's what's going on. Now, I don't know that much about Miss Murray, but the little I read and saw in the video, she comes across as an actual adult, unlike AOC. She sounds like an adult, unlike AOC. She has a likable quality about her, and she appears to be very clear about her ideas for Queens and Bronx, New York. Her life experiences, she's a business owner, a lot like Trump, her life experiences as well as intellect, I think would serve New York really, really well. Much better than they're being served now. And I think AOC, with your approval rating of 21%, you may want to start paying attention to your own district, because you know what? In 2020, you're going to be nothing but having had 15 minutes of fame, which that's what I'm kind of rooting for, I'll be honest. A quick story about El Chapo, our Mexican cartel who was caught. I love this. So Ben Sass of Nebraska, he says that El Chapo's money, and I think there was like almost $14 billion that was confiscated, it should go to build the wall.
Got a lot of money.
I think, yeah. But you know what? This is newfound money. The government wasn't expecting all these billions of dollars. You got $14 billion. We're just looking for 5.7. Newfound money. It's not going to cost. It doesn't come out of the coffer that you guys had planned. And he kind of is the reason that we need to build the wall in the first place. Shouldn't he be the one to buy it?
I agree.
Right?
Use some of that money.
That's Guillermo Moreno. Yeah, I mean, think about it. And the beauty of it is this. Can you see Trump saying, I told you those Mexicans were going to pay for the wall?
Yeah. Just one in particular could do it.
Yeah. I mean, but seriously, it makes sense. Sass, and then I think Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. Oh, yeah.
They brought it to the table.
Ted Cruz has been. So do we seize that money?
He's been doing this since January or February.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
the article came up again, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So, what are you talking about today?
Yeah, Ilhan Omar's past. Great article.
Yeah,
in the Wall Street Journal.
Jairus touched on it a bit.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to start giving her relationship advice again.
No. I'm not going to talk about her sleeping with her brother.
Oh,
This
okay.
is literally refugee camp, why she hates Jews.
Oh,
Yeah.
stay tuned, people.
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. I can't wait to hear this. Oh, really?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's there's another
Well, you know what they learn. Well, Muslims learn regarding that. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a Holland politician from Holland, and she grew up in Somalia.
Wow.
Went through the refugee
nice.
camp just like Ilhan Omar.
Nice.
And she talks about how Somalians were brought up. So it's really an inside look in the past of
Great.
Ilhan.
Hey, guys, stay tuned for that show. That's going to be a killer. Guys, thank you. We will see you shortly. Bye-bye.
No, I like that. It's coming up.
No.
You have to because it.
Oh, that was awesome.